It's all about automation. This is Gary Mintchell. I'm in the international terminal at O'Hare International Airport and just got off the plane from Germany. Never really got a good opportunity in Frankfurt to record one of these things. Hope the ambient noise isn't too bad here. It's the only place I could find before I take off for Thanksgiving with the family. So I was at SPS Drive's show this week in Nuremberg, and it was a very busy show. It's just packed. It's huge. There were at least 9 halls or different buildings, just packed with all kinds of things. I had an exhausting day trying to hit as much as possible, in addition to quite a few booth appointments and 2 press conferences. The real theme of the, as far as I can tell, the theme for automation was safety. Safety networking, safety components, safety PLCs, and all kinds of things with safety. Safety networking is coming into its own. What can I say? It's all there. B&R was showing something called One Safety, and they claim it's the first and only thing that will hit everybody's protocol. Unfortunately, I really didn't have enough time to probe into it and figure out what was going on with it, but it's a safety network that you can take Profi, Safe, and Ethernet and IP and everything else, and well, everything except their arch rival, Beckhoff's EtherCAT, will hook up into it. So I'll have to study it more before I report on what this One Safety is, but Phoenix Contact has a whole bunch of things going on, and just about everywhere else I stopped there was automation, had safety, and especially like Ethernet safety and network safety going on. And speaking of the word Ethernet, Ethernet was big everywhere, and once again I spent like one of the fastest 10 minutes, I suppose, or actually there were 20 minutes with Phoenix Contact, and Dave Skelton couldn't walk fast enough taking me around all the new products. And they're really building out their Ethernet line and some safety stuff too. So quite a bit going on there. Interesting sidelight as I went to the Festo booth. Festo is known for pneumatic controls, and they've been getting into motion. I noticed a few years ago when I was over there they had a lot of motion, electric motion, that they had not brought to the United States, and they are starting to bring it to the United States. And the idea is, as they explained to me, was that they have been a component supplier, and components can become commodities, and it's more competitive, and they're trying to become more of a solution sale, and try to go into a customer and say, hey, we can look at it engineering, and we can engineer it so you can use pneumatics and servo pneumatics and servo electric digital over here and here and here. So watch for Festo. It's kind of interesting how they are moving up the food chain a little bit and going after a lot of the digital motion control, along as with building on their pneumatic strength. In the computer business, anybody that had computers was showing embedded computers with Atom processors. That's ATOM, Atom. And the Atom processors are low power. They're low electrical power, and also permit temperature extremes. And so I was better for extreme temperatures and also low power usage. A couple of big announcements. Siemens had a whole ton of products. The big product they were showing is called TIA Portal. And if you've been around Siemens for the last, I don't know, at least 13 years, they've had what they call totally integrated automation. And it's built from the ground up. They try to do objects and components. They were building on components, software components. And they keep building up, and they bought UGS, which got tech pneumatics and had simulation and talking about the digital factory. And they keep working on it, and I'm always expecting more. I see all this technology, and I'm always like, oh, gee, why can't you do all of it all at once kind of guy. But they showed this portal, the TIA portal. Now they have gone to all object-oriented, well, objects. So object-oriented programming, building objects, building libraries of objects. The objects have all their attributes of different kinds of things. It would be a one-tag database. It would be a library of objects you could just drag and drop and put in there. A very nice user interface. You boot it up and it doesn't look like Visual Studio. It's a more pleasing atmosphere for programming. And it does filtering so that when you, say, choose a CPU, it already knows that you chose Profinet, so it'll only show you Profinet communications, and it knows what kind of I/O go with that and what chassis and all that sort of stuff. And so as you drag and drop your I/O modules and communications modules and all that kind of stuff in there, and then when you start to program, once again, you pick, do you want ladder or function chart or structured text or whatever, and then you can get your little library going and then start programming. And then when you do your HMI, right now they only have logic and HMI. They will be building it out with variable frequency drive configuration and eventually get into motion control in it. And then I think Quasi, I think it's too far in the future when they're going to put like the Technomatic stuff in there for simulation on the fly. But they're building the platform that can do all that. It's a really cool platform. It really looks good. And what they have so far is really cool. And it works on all their PLCs. So they don't just drop the micro line off. The micros go into as well as the 7. So that was Siemens. That was very good. And they had a special press conference to talk about all that too. And business is good. Everybody was pretty much saying business is good. Beckhoff had a press conference, and it was touted as an important joint venture. And what's interesting is they have gone into a joint venture with a man by the name of Fertig, and he founded Alau, sold Alau to Schneider, took some time off to, I suppose, spend his money, and has decided to get back into the business. So he and Beckhoff have formed a joint venture company to develop servo motors specifically for Beckhoff's PC-based control and EtherCAT. So that's more than kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting that Beckhoff is going deeper into the servo motor business, and also that they're going to design and build and specifically for their own solution. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Had so many things there I had to take notes, but the aisles were packed. I only saw maybe 2 booths that weren't busy. I'm not naming names, and most booths were packed. It was one of those shows where you had to elbow your way through, but if you took Automation Fair that Rockwell has and then did about, let me calculate, 30 of those at least, maybe more, that'd be about the size of what this was. Probably even bigger than that. It's huge. So get a chance, and you're in the in this kind of industry of the part of automation, you got to head to Nuremberg just before Thanksgiving. It's always just before Thanksgiving. So like I say, I flew back home today on Wednesday, and you probably won't see it till after Thanksgiving, so I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I'll have Thanksgiving with my family and head home finally next week. So this is Gary Mintchell. It's all about automation, and I hope you had a good Thanksgiving, and I'll see you later.